Our first experience to work with Thai people, they're very nice.
Everyone in Thailand is very smiley.
They seem to always be at work too.
They're extremely industrious.
Anything you find strange or not really good about working with Thai people?
Actually, I don't know. I didn't notice.
ก่อนหน้านี้ก็ได้ฟังประสบการณ์การทำงานกับคนไทยในแง่บวกมาแล้วนะครับคราวนี้เราลองไปฟังในแง่ลบกันบ้างก่อนไปชมคลิปเราขอแจ้งว่าเพื่อนๆทุกคนสามารถช่วยสนับสนุนช่องของเราได้แล้วโดยการสมทบทุนทางบัญชียักษ์คิ้วทีวีตามเลขบัญชีนี้ครับถ้าชอบคอนเทนต์ของเราเห็นว่าคลิปนี้มีประโยชน์และอยากให้เราทำต่อไปไม่หายไปไหนซะก่อนกำลังใจเล็กๆน้อยๆของทุกคนช่วยต่อพลังให้เราได้ครับ
Anything you don't like about working with Thai people?
The lack of English skill. I try to explain. There's a whole big wide world out there. There's 7 billion people. And every day, 3.5 billion people use English as their primary language of communication. And Thailand seems a little bit insulated when it comes to understanding this fact. That if it wants to grow and wants to expand, it needs to grasp the English language. All of industry, all of transportation, the internet, medicine, and so many books and so much information is all based on the English language. So if you want to travel and go outside of Thailand or experience another culture, you're going to have to learn to speak a little bit of English for communication. And I'm just talking maybe 100 words. But if you want to explore other cultures and other parts of the world, you're going to have to learn to speak English just to travel in the airport. Yes, certainly I'm lucky to have this as my mother tongue, but I also speak Spanish. So I know how hard it is to learn another language, but also I know how important and valuable being able to communicate with other people in a different culture and a different language is.
What's the worst part of working with Thai people?
Western-minded people often want to change things. We want to go in and make things better and change and push for what we want. And a lot of Thai people are content with keeping things the way that they are. So when we're trying to push for big changes and they're no, that can be difficult for us.
What frustrates me is that they have to think that this is how it's supposed to do. Something must happen and that's how it's been done forever. So when you come with a new idea which sort of contradicts that or with a new approach, I think they find it hard to let go of what their math methods are or with what their methodology was. I think it's when you clash with their philosophies or with their methodologies or with their way of seeing things.
I've had some kids with special needs students. People aren't really willing to change the way that the classroom operates or change the school to accommodate them, because in the society, I feel oftentimes they want to push for those students to normalize to what everyone else is, rather than trying to help them
Individually.
Right. Yeah, and meet their individual needs. It's about the group mindset. We're teaching to the exam too, rather than teaching a way of thinking, which is what I believe in. The educators are there to guide you along to what you want to learn about. And here it's very much this is what you're learning. You don't have time to explore your different interests at school. That's what you do outside of school.
I think the biggest con is just the subtleties of the hierarchy system. And sometimes if you ask for something to be changed or done, they won't say no to your face. And they might say yes, but then it won't get done because they don't want to say no to you, but they're not going to say it. So they're just oh yeah, of course. And then it never gets done. There's some frustrations with why didn't you just tell me I couldn't do that or it had to be this way,
A bit passive aggressive kind of thing.
Yeah, not so. Yeah, it's very, very passive, but it's the saving face culture.
Oh, right. How much different is it from working with Canadians?
I would say the difference is they're much more blunt, and if I ask for something and they'll either say yes or no or give me a very distinct reason why it can or can't happen. Whereas if I ask it to a Thai person, they won't be able to say I can't do that because my boss said no, right? They have to say I believe it can't happen either. They're voicing what their boss is saying. So it's harder to see if it's like your coworker that thinks that or that's what their boss is telling them to tell you, right?
We have to remember like it's not our country and like we can only do so much. Like if we think our ideas are better, maybe they're not, like just because we think they are. So yeah, I would say that's a big difference.
I understand that. So when I was first here, it was very frustrating, but now like I expect those kind of things. So you just have to learn how to navigate it and understand like when you're overstepping or asking too much. So I wouldn't say it's not like a massive problem for me anymore.
I think it comes down to individuals, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Individuals within companies or institutions can have a huge difference. It just comes down to making sure you're just being in the right place, being surrounded by the right people. I would say.
I give you a chance if you can say something to your boss.
No, not gonna happen.
I got a little something for you for your time.
Great.
But before that, I'm gonna sanitize it for you.
All right, thank you.
And this one's herbal lip balm.
Okay,
Hey,
sure.
herbal balm, not lip balm.
Yeah.
Don't put it on your lips.
I know.
This one's herbal balm. Herbal balm.
Herbal balm.
Oh, a lip balm.
Awesome.
And I think it's coconut. Yeah, coconut scent.
Fun. Yeah.
Lip balm.
Yeah.
สนับสนุนของขวัญน่ารักสไตล์รามเกียรติ์โดย Holen ฝรั่งรักคนไทยเลิฟพิเศษสุดสำหรับแฟนยักษ์คิ้วและฝรั่งคิดยังไงเพียงกรอกโค้ดยักษ์คิ้วลดทันที 10% จาก Holen นอกจากช่วยสนับสนุนสินค้าจาก Holen ที่เราพอจะได้ค่าขนมเล็กๆน้อยๆแล้วถ้าชอบคลิปนี้เพื่อนๆยังสามารถส่งกำลังใจให้ช่องของเราได้ด้วยการสนับสนุนมาที่บัญชียักษ์คิ้วทีวีตามเลขบัญชีนี้เพื่อให้เรามีกำลังใจทำคลิปดีๆกันต่อไปนะครับขอแค่ทุกคนที่ดูคลิปนี้คนละ9 บาทก็จะต่อพลังให้พวกเราได้แล้วล่ะครับ
Subtleties, hierarchy, saving face.
Explain, expand, explore.
Content, accommodate, mindset.
Trust, contradict, methodology.
Institutions surrounded.
Guys, I have to go because they're waiting for me. But it was great.
Oh,
okay,
that's
good luck.
okay. Thank you. ปรากฏว่าเขารีบครับเมื่อกี้แฟนเขาเพิ่งซื้อของเสร็จแล้วก็เดินเขาก็เลยไม่อยากให้แฟนรอก็โอเคขอไปก่อนแล้วกันไม่เป็นไรครับก็เข้าใจได้